Hey guys, Pras here for Yahoo Finance. Cold, wintry day here in New York City, but I'm in an important car for Ford, and also I think the automotive industry, and that's the Ford Mustang Mach-E. It's Ford's all-electric effort, attaching the Mustang name to it. Lots of controversy there with that, but I think Ford understands that that's the best way to maybe move this car is to not only have the Mustang name attached to it, also associated with performance and not just practicality when it comes from an EV driving perspective, and looks of the car give it that kind of perspective. And we're looking at an SUV or CUV, but it has an aggressive stance. Just a couple things I want to run through for the car before I forget. So we are in the premium Mustang Mach-E Premium all-wheel drive with the extended range battery, and that's an 88 kilowatt hour battery. With that system in place, we're getting about 346 horsepower, 428 pound-feet of torque, and around 270 miles per hour estimated EPA range with this system. Whether it's a Nissan Leaf or a Tesla Model S performance, you have great off-the-line oomph. You get that instant torque that everyone loves. And the Mustang Mach-E is no exception. You know, in dual motor form, I have not driven the single motor version of this car. You get a lot of oomph off the line. You get that kind of that electric. You can hear the electric whir, that futuristic sound, and people get in these cars. The first moment they think that they're in the future, right? It just seems very different. It's a smoother drivetrain. And comparing this to the Model 3 that Rick Newman and I tested, it's very similar, right? We haven't tested the Model Y, but that is a similar car in the sense that it's a similar chassis and powertrain. So that's sort of our baseline here, right? So can Ford with the Mustang and the Mach-E in particular, which is targeted, I think, in the same class as the Model Y. Model Y, which has been on sale for about a year now in the United States, doing from what we can tell pretty well. And that's the goal. That's the goal is to can Ford not only meet the Model Y but also surpass it. And from my opinion, we're driving here, not too spirited here, but I was driving it upstate, some really twisty, curvy roads. The car was well tuned. I mean, suspension-wise, it's Ford. They know what they're doing, and they did a great job with this car. Well damped, well tuned. You can take some turns at pretty high speed. So power's great. There's three different versions. Drive modes: Whisper, Engage, and Unbridled. Unbridled being your most aggressive setting, and we'll try that right now. So you go into this. You got this massive touchscreen here, a la Tesla. You go into touch your car icon. You have your drive modes here. We're engaged right now. I'm going to go to Unbridled. We're in a little bit of traffic, so it's not going to be the best at this point, but you get an idea of the unleashing of the full electric power of the motors, which Ford tells me they are not actually making. These motors are made by suppliers, but Ford is very adamant about the software is theirs. The software controlling the powertrain, the inverters, all the traction control, those types of things that they are controlling yaw, controlling spin rate. Those are the things that they're in charge of, that they're controlling with their software, and they're proud of what they've done. And I think they've done a great job with combining that with the powertrain, in this case I told you it's a dual motor system and 88 kilowatt hour batteries. So altogether, I think Ford has done a great job. Interior is quite nice. I think it's better than a Tesla Model Y. I mean, that car is a little different, but in terms of fit and finish, I think Ford is obviously, as a traditional OEM, they know what they're doing. They've built this car pretty well. This is, I believe it might be a pre-production, I'm not sure, and it still feels like a production model. You see fit and finish, your gaps are all consistent, unlike Tesla, unfortunately. So that part of it is great. I actually like the dual screen setup here with the little mini gauge cluster, if you will, all virtual. It gives you just what you need. not too distracting. You also have this massive touchscreen when you need to do some other stuff, which honestly I did find a little distracting at times, because you're kind of hunting around trying to find stuff. If you're driving, it can be a bit. I don't think it'd be dangerous, but it could be a bit tricky, and you might want to be careful with that. I still think though they're matching Tesla in terms of performance, in terms of just raw performance. I thought this car handles great, great power off the line. So it's a great effort. I think it's looks great, good fit and finish, nice interior, looks stylish on the outside. I kind of prefer it than the Model Y. But I got to say something about I can't knock Tesla, not knock Ford a little bit here. The mileage range is quite honestly a little disappointing from my point of view. You know, a Tesla, an equivalent Tesla, the Model Y all-wheel drive is around over 320, right? Now, you know, in the winter, you can knock it around 20 to 30%. I would say that's fair. The Ford here, I was seeing, you know, 265-ish is what they were trying to say was the range, and I was getting around 200. You know, barely 200. I know it's winter, but really was pretty brutal. Very disappointing going upstate and trying to find, you know, you're in places where there aren't that many charge ports. Even people talk about in LA, there's not that many charge ports. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking being on a trip, trying to hunt and find your spots to charge up. And in most cases, what I was having to do was basically use the mobile charger that comes with the car and plug it into a regular outlet. And I mean, that's like what you're getting a mile or two of range an hour, right? I think with the Tesla in general, they just are really kind of on top of the game with regards to their software, how they're actually optimizing their system when it comes to their powertrain and battery tech. And I think that they're able to really squeeze out every last, you know, kilojoule or whatever of power you want to say here, right? Every little electron of power here for the car, and they can really maximize their range. And that would be a very, I think for many people, reduce the anxiety level of range anxiety. So my one knock on the Ford Mach-E, even with the extended range batteries, I just don't think it's not that rangy, right? For lack of a better word, it's not giving you the range that we need to at least make myself feel more comfortable, and that kind of gives Tesla a little edge there. So that's the Ford Mach-E, Mustang Mach-E. I think it's a great first effort from Ford in terms of an all-electric vehicle. You know, whether they should use the Mustang name or not is another story, but I think the car is a great car. Drives great, looks good. People were asking me about it like crazy, of course. All in all, pretty good effort. It's just that they just don't have the range yet as a Model Y, and I think that's the one differentiating factor. Okay, I'm Pras. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time.